following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Jimmy, this is MC Alfred and Ozzy Star. I'm just chilling, Jimmy Star, yo, sitting down and designing. Why every man never thinking, what are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC, you can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfred, the one and only, the Turkish MC.
Always love the clothes of Jimmy.
Beige, I'm your wanna be. Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
We'll take you out.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. Welcome to our very first show of 2021. We hope everybody had a fabulous Christmas, and hope everybody had a great New Year's, and we're happy to be back. Before we say hi to everybody in the chat room, let's say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
I am being kissed to death by my sweetie pie, my little Astro boy, who I love. Look at him. He kisses me all the time. That's what I'm going to talk about today.
He is so fabulous, you guys. Like, Ron can't go anywhere. The dog, I took the dog out to go to the bathroom before we came on the show, and Ron talked to him outside the window, and he immediately ran in to go be with Ron. He is like, just loves Ron to death. He likes me, but he loves Ron to death
because I'm sweet. Anyway, can I talk?
No, let me say hi to the chat room. What's up? So Teresa Saban, hello, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, welcome to 2021. We have Dawn Hinton is in there. You have a different watch today on, right?
Yes, today I have a watch on. It's a Michael Kors watch that was a gift to me from
Eileen.
From Eileen Shapiro, I believe, for maybe my birthday or Christmas.
No, when she came here to stay with us for a couple weeks.
To stay. It's a beautiful beige leather. Camera. It's a beige leather strap, and it's a lovely mechanism. It's got nice big letters, so I could numerals, so I could see it without glasses.
No, it's fabulous. It's Michael Kors, and we also want to say hi. Backpack John is in the chat room, and Lady Lake Music just joined us in the chat room, and I want to thank everybody for watching our Christmas show. We broke 5 million plays, so thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. Even though we had technical difficulties, we did have a very good time, and we want to make sure we're also wishing Rebel, who's running our show, and everybody at W4CY a Happy New Year, and we're happy to be here for 2021. Now you can tell your story about the dog.
Okay. I'm really upset about what's starting to happen here in Palm Springs or California in general. Dog napping. More dogs are being stolen every day. We don't understand why. I have seen some homeless people with poodles and chihuahuas. These dogs, the rescue center will not give homeless people. Obviously, these homeless people got these dogs someplace. I hesitate and I hate to think that they stole these dogs for themselves. That's one.
That one on your Facebook page, though, that was in like Maryland.
No, I know that, but it's happening all over
the
country
place,
now.
Everybody, so watch your dogs.
But in California, it's really happening a lot, especially Palm Springs, because there are so many expensive dogs here belonging to owners. We have also thieves that come and they steal the dog and then wait. No, Jimmy, shut them out. I'm going to punch you with this mic already. It's starting in, we're not even 2 minutes into the show, and I'm going to beat you to death with my mic.
3.
3 minutes into the show, and already he's aggravating and annoying me. Please, out there, help me out. Send money. I need a divorce. Yeah. Anyway, not really, just kidding. This is a very serious issue because there are people that steal your dog. They wait for you to post your reward, and then they send some phony baloney person with the dog, and they say, oh, we found it on the highway. And then you give them the money. So it's a good way to make money if you don't have a job or if you are not here able to get a job because of your background. Beware. Do not leave your do not leave your dog in the car. Even if the windows are halfway down, that's worse. They could really steal your dog. Take your dog with you. On your garden gate, put a lock that no one can get into your garden to steal your dog if your dog is out getting some sun. When you walk your dog in the light if you can, under lamps, because they will come with the gun and they will hold you up and take your dog.
It's really terrible.
We are facing a terrible epidemic here of crime. I don't know where it's coming from or how it came into this country or who is doing it in this country, if it's Native Americans from years ago or the new immigrant. I don't know who to blame it on. I'm not blaming it on any specific group. But what I'm saying is that we have had an insurgence of horrible muggings, house thefts. It's just terrible, the criminal element that is in this country now, and that is really hurting us because, years in my day, nobody stole a dog. My dog used to walk in front of my house and sit on the steps, and it was fine. And I had a good dog. I mean, I had St. Bernards, and I had all kinds of wonderful dogs in my life. No one ever stole my dog. And if they did and I caught them, I'd kill them, because I think I have the right to kill a dog napper, because they don't know how they break our hearts. If anybody ever stole my little baby here, I would find them and I would.
No, you can't say that.
Oh, I can't say that. But
you would go after. You wouldn't let them get away with it.
I wouldn't let them get away with it. And the thing we shave with, I'd use it.
Yeah. So anyway, we got a bunch of people. Everybody, what he's saying is true. Like, we're seeing it on Facebook. There's stories every day of people, dogs getting stolen.
The crime is just incredible. I mean, I remember news in Palm Springs 20 years ago. We used to laugh at it. It was a joke. Man tripped over sewer grating, broke his leg, and that was the big scoop of the day. Now the Palm Springs news is police cars breaking in dope rings, trafficking of young girls and boys. I mean, it's disgusting what's going on in this little town that used to be a peaceful, little, quiet, laid-back town that nobody but just the movie stars came to get away from their fans and the public. Now it's become another big city, and it's got all the problems of a city. I don't know what to do. Living in California, I'm a little afraid of what's going to be, because people are getting crazy. Like in New York, they beat up that guy in his car, the kids on the bike, they jumped off and smashed the windows. I mean, it's horrible how people are just doing terrible things and the police are not doing anything about it. So I'm thinking of moving back to Long Island, and where the grapes are, where they grow the vineyards, where there's nobody, and just live a nice, quiet life without worrying about my dogs being stolen, my daughters being raped, or Jimmy being mugged, or our BMW or my Audi being smashed by vicious people who are envious and crazy, or just plain destructive, crazy people. Anyway, enough of my rant for the day. Yes, so my dog is agreeing. He's growling.
A bunch of SEC's people walking by outside. We have a bunch of people joining us. So we said hi. Teresa Sabin is in Florida. Angela Joseph is in Colorado. She just joined us.
Baby, take care of those kids, honey. Don't let them out of your sight. They're stealing kids too. Young people trafficking is very big in the United States. In fact, Jimmy has a script of a movie that may be made dealing with this problem. I know that what's his name who I like, the one from Chicago, the director, producer. Oh my God, why did I lose his name? He did the one about trafficking. Remember, they put the girl in the cage, put his wife in the cage.
Oh, Harley.
Oh,
he's not from Chicago.
No, wherever.
From Detroit.
Well, it's the same thing. Harley did a wonderful film about it, and his wife starred it, and it was about trafficking, and it brought to light what is going on, because not too many people know about trafficking. It seems a little outrageous and impossible to think that they steal a 12-year-old girl and force her with drugs to have sex with people all over the world. I mean, this is barbaric and insane and has to be stopped. Also, dog thievery has to be stopped. All kinds of thievery.
Angela Joseph says she has her kids on lockdown, which Happy New Year, Angela. And Dave Hughes from the UK has just joined us. And somebody else, B. Claudia was there, but she says she's coming back. She's at a seminar and she's coming back in a little bit.
And Angie Baby, if you have a part for me somewhere.
Oh, and Goddess.
I'm going to be ready to go to work soon, because I'm getting my shot as soon as possible, and then I'll be able to work again in film.
Just me, Goddess is there. Happy New Year, Goddess.
I'm mad at Goddess.
Oh, okay.
I'm mad at her because she doesn't tell me what's going on. I don't know. I worry about her. She's not on. She disappears for months at a time.
She's been back though lately. A lot.
But not really. She really hasn't told me that she's okay.
Goddess, hit him up on Facebook and let him know you're okay.
No, I just hope you're healthy and you're okay, that you're not suffering from some terrible disease.
She said love you.
I love you back, but I mean, Goddess was with us from my day one on this show 9 years ago, and she's really special. And I worry about her. And when she's not around and doesn't answer my Facebook things or whatever the hell I contact her on, I get nervous.
Angela says she has a project for you. Wait till you see. Dawn says Ron, kisses.
Good.
Teresa Saban says she's busy with kids. Oh, I don't know if she's talking about Dawn or who she's talking about.
But yeah, rape is up. I mean, what's his
Dawn? Oh wait, Dawn.
Did you know that we had 3 rapes in this last month in Palm Springs? 3 women were raped in Palm Springs. That's unheard of.
You guys, Palm Springs is really little.
I mean, this is a little teeny weeny community where everybody knows everybody.
8 blocks of downtown. That's it.
I mean, how do you rape somebody in Palm Springs? That's
especially since it's almost all gay men.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what the hell is going on. All I know is we better fund the police. We better not fund the police, because if we don't have police, we're really up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
Goddess says she thanks for worrying about her. I adore you. Paul from Zest Radio has just joined us. What's up, Paul? How are you? Actually, the chat room is filling up quickly. It's good for our first show back. So we're going to have a lot of fun.
We have this gal on. You know, I interviewed the other girl from the Brady Bunch. I forgot her name.
She's from the Brady Bunch Variety Hour. Jerry Reichel.
I love Jerry.
I tried to get her to come on today.
Oh, you know what, Jerry White? I love you, Jerry. We had such a ball. After the interview at the convention, we hung out. We had the best time. She is one of the most lovely, funny, talkative, chatty, silly, wonderful people. She would have made our show so bright. Call her up. Tell her to come on now.
No, I couldn't get her, but our guest is here, so we're going to let her in.
Why couldn't you reach Jerry?
Huh? Because she didn't respond. What do you want me to do? I can't.
Maybe
I don't have her phone number. I had to get her on Facebook.
Oh, forget about it. Nobody watches. Goes every day on Facebook, but stupid me.
So anyway, we're going to bring on our first guest because she's coming on and she's got on for a half an hour. So we're going to have some fun right now.
And the writer who wrote the movie she was in is my dearest friend in the world, Stan Zimmerman. So I'm so happy to be with Stan.
Go ahead, Rebel. Let's let her in.
Let's go in. Let me in. You.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Another beautiful blonde.
I love it. So hello. Say something. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Hello. Testing. Testes.
There we go.
Hello.
Testes works.
Yes, testing works.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly fabulous, talented, and gorgeous Jennifer Elise Cox. Hello, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
We're great. Let me introduce. This is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, who's also my husband, Ron Russell.
Oh,
shit.
Now they're all going to find out who I am. Oh, my God. My veil has been removed.
And we have a chat room filled with people, so say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody in the chat room. What's going on?
We have Canada, Georgia, Canada, the United States, Germany, Australia. I don't know, all kinds of places represented in there. So it'll be a lot
very
of fun.
international, like George Glass. My imaginary boyfriend.
you have not changed hardly any. I would have recognized you immediately. You still have that young girl look, that little teenager girl, even less than teen. How old were you when you did the Brady?
Thank you. It's good lighting. Good lighting here.
No, but how old were you when you did the Brady's?
The Brady Bunch movie.
When I did the first movie, I was 23. But I was playing 15. Old. I was playing 15.
I know. You look 15. Now you look about 18.
Well, it was great.
Oh, my God. And that was 25 years.
She's an old bitch.
That was 25 years ago, and you still look like you're 15.
God bless you. I love you guys.
No. You're an old bag. You look great for an old bag. Look at you. I'm amazed. I'm 80. I'm 80 years old, and they tell me I look good. I look nothing like you.
You look really good. I don't know. I have very oily skin. I think that's the key to not having wrinkles. Oily skin.
You don't go out in the sun, right?
No, I can't. Look at me. I'm an albino. I would just blister up and pass out.
I think that is
No, but
It
seriously,
doesn't work for me.
we're not
Unfortunately.
making we're not doing fake compliments. And I'm sure that our viewers, 404.5 million viewers, may agree with me or not. But you look very, very young. You could still do
I
the
really
Brady Bunch.
appreciate that. This is like a big ego boost. Thank you.
Are they ever going to do the Brady Bunch again? Another movie?
Well, you know, I don't know if they'll do another movie again, but people want it. People have said to me they would love it. And I know that Stan Zimmerman has like floated around a script at Netflix. Maybe when the Brady girls get older and they like have a terrible apartment and like things haven't really worked out for them.
That's not going to work. Stan is a dear friend. Stan's a dear friend of mine. So I'm going to tell Stan, make it the Brady Bunch sells drugs and they're hookers. Then you'll get a movie.
I like it. That was floated around.
I'm seriously. Then people will definitely see your movies, because today the Brady Bunch is just too sweet for the audience. They need heads rolling off, rape and shooting and murder. So make it where you're a dope addict and a hooker. And Stan, wait till Stan O'Lock comes on. I love Stan Zimmerman. Do you? Do you know him?
Wonderful.
He's a sweet guy.
He's
love
so
him
sweet
too.
and talented.
He actually sent me a message. I asked him to come on after you were on because I knew he wrote the sequel, and he sent me this piece of trivia saying that like back in the day you worked at his like uncle's like Baskin Robbins or something like that. I don't know what I forgot.
This is so funny. His uncle and my dad, may he rest in peace, they were really good friends at the gym, and I needed a summer job, so Dad went to Stan's uncle, and I managed a Ben & Jerry's, even though I didn't know how to manage a store. I didn't, but I had time.
You're an actress.
I tried my best.
You're a good actress, so you could make believe. Think character.
That's Stan's uncle, so it's funny. We have a lot in common. It's funny.
Absolutely, I think that's hilarious. So you guys, listen. You can follow Jennifer on Twitter. She's at Jen JENELISE Cox. What are you on Instagram?
I think it's the same. And I wanted to tell you guys, I'm in an upcoming episode of Mr. Mayor on NBC. Please watch.
That stuff comes out on that.
When is it airing?
I'm not sure when it's airing, because we had a thing where my episode didn't get finished because it was shut down because people had COVID. It's just, it's been crazy. But I think they're going to come back. It'll probably be on in like February, March.
That's the new show that Ted Danson. It comes out on Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks hilarious. The commercial looks hilarious.
He's so nice. I mean, you want to talk about a mensch. Ted Danson is a mensch. He's so sweet. He was wonderful. And Holly Hunter is in it, and I've always admired her work. And it's very funny. It's from Tina Fey. Was the producer.
I love it.
I have friends that are really good friends with him, and they all said he's a regular Joe. He is. He's a regular guy. Yeah. And his wife is very sweet also.
So hang on too. So you guys, Jennifer, first of all, she's in both Brady Bunch movies. She's in the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. She plays Jan. Yes. Obviously, like you still look like her. And so can you tell us your famous line?
Marsha. You just like
how they got away with that back then, I'll never know.
Because I was reading this thing because we're also friends with Jerry Reichel, and Jerry Reichel was Jan Brady on the
I love
Brady
Jerry Reichel. I did a Brady autograph show with Jerry Reichel, and she was so much fun. She was the life of the party.
I tried to get her to come on right after you, but I couldn't get her.
I interviewed her.
Next time.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. But
hang on. I interviewed her, and after the interview, we had the most fun. She is so fun, laughing. I love her. I'm so sorry she's not coming on today. It would have been wonderful.
But let's go back.
She doesn't take herself seriously. She's really nice.
Right. So I saw though that like on her Facebook page, that like the other day was like Jan Brady Day or something for all the because there's been
January
3 Jan Bradys.
Because January 1st, you know why? Because Jan's number 1, January 1st. Not Marsha.
Right.
Not Marsha.
It's Jan 1.
Didn't one of them pass away? One of the people in the Brady Bunch passed away?
Not Barry Williams. Oh my God.
Who
The
is
father
it that-
did. The father
father.
did.
Oh yes. So in the Brady Bunch movies, though, you guys, the father is played by Gary Cole and the mother is played by Shelley Long, and then you have Christine Taylor as Marcia, and that's Ben Affleck. I mean Ben Stiller's wife, right?
They
Isn't she?
split, you guys.
Oh, okay. She's not the wife anymore, but she used to
But
be.
they were. They were.
That's Hollywood. Hello.
No, it's Hollywood.
So it was very fun and very cool. And so then I started researching you because I knew you were coming on the show. And so now I want to do like a little kudos to you because like you're going to be on Mr. Mayor. You've been on a ton of huge shows. And I had like no idea. And so I always like to do bragging for you. So that way, like if you do it, it sounds arrogant, but if I do it, it's
like
cool.
an a-hole.
So here's some of the awesome shows that Jennifer has been on, you guys, and they're all like huge. Besides Mr. Mayor, that's coming up. She was on the George Wendt Show, Murphy Brown, Clueless, Moesha. I love Clueless. Sex and the City, Will and Grace, The Wiggles. The Wiggles. I mean, that is like such a phenomenon. I can't even like believe it. Reno 911, 6 Feet Under, The Comeback, The New Adventures of Old Christine, Mind of Mencia, Nip Tuck, CSI New York, Pushing Daisies, Numbers, Eastwick, In Plain Sight, Two Broke Girls, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's a bunch of other ones, but like these are the ones I like.
You're a working actor. What was it like working with Sarah Jessica Parker? I've heard tales about her.
Amazing. What I have to tell you is like, I was actually kind of a New York kid growing up, kind of child actress. So I had known her from a previous life. So when I went to do Sex in the City, you know, I said, I don't expect you to remember me, but we were at this Annie party and you were so nice to me. And she's just the nicest person in the world. And she was like, yeah, I remember. Even if she didn't remember, she's such a good actress.
She
I
said
thought
she
she
did.
did remember. She's
Yeah,
so
I do-
nice. She's
I
very
do
nice.
that a lot. If people recognize me from 100 years ago, they
Yeah.
say, do you remember me? I say, vaguely. Give me a little information.
smart.
It's coming in, but I have no idea who they are.
I just always say I drink a lot, so no, I don't remember you.
Well, that makes them feel bad, and I don't want to do that because nobody
No,
wants
no,
to be-
no, no. No, you always
know.
want to remember people. It's just sometimes like
Okay, it's impossible. Oh, come
yeah,
I
on.
remember
brain can
faces
only
about
absorb too much information.
The amounts of people that we meet in our business is in the millions. It's impossible to remember people.
I always remember faces. I can't remember names to save my life, but I always remember faces. So
Me
it's kind
too.
of like funny. So then you had a couple movies, and I'm a horror movie fan. How do you say horror?
Oh, I love horror.
Horror. Okay, I'm just seeing how she says it. So
No, Jimmy sometimes says horror.
no, she's in the Stephen King movie. Sometimes They Come Back Again, which is
Right,
actually a really good. It's a really good movie though. Like I love horror movies, and Ron's in a bunch of horror movies. And so I actually love them. But she was in Bewitched, Storytelling, which Storytelling is, I think, one of the most underrated like movies ever. Like Storytelling was such a great freaking like movie, even though it was kind of
I agree,
controversial.
it just kind of disappeared. I don't know why.
Yeah, I
But
know
it
it.
was a great movie. Yeah.
Ed TV, Can't Hardly Wait, Pledge This, which I was an extra in Pledge This.
Did you meet Paris? Did you meet
No,
Paris?
I've met her a bunch of times because I used to live in South Florida, so like any movie that was there, I was always like an extra in them. And I was a clothing designer. And I had a cool clothing line, and so I was Elton John's guest, and she was there at the VIP thing with. So I got to meet her in the VIP with Tara Reid. So it was kind of fun. And then you're also a writer for a bunch of things, and you have a cool thing called Space Station 76, which I don't know if it came out yet, but you got an A-list cast of people. So congratulations on that.
I want to
Yeah,
play
that
a
was my
Martian.
first kind of film that I participated writing in. It was a bunch of us writers. It was based on a stage play we had done. So I'm
listen
a
to the
whore. I
people.
will go wherever they will hire me.
But look at the cast in this: Patrick Wilson, Jerry O'Connell, Liv Tyler, Matt Bomer, Matthew Morrison. There's a whole bunch more, but like those are all like everybody knows who they are.
Liv Tyler used to be my daughter Deirdre's good friend. They went to school together as kids when we lived
That's
in
so
Manhattan.
cool.
And she's as beautiful now as she was as a child. You had to see her when she was like about maybe 14, 15. Beautiful girl, and she looks the same. Listen,
And
I'm
she's a
dying to
great
play in it.
actress. I like her acting too.
Yes, she
Very
is.
I want
Yeah.
to. I want to play an alien so bad, and nobody ever casts me as an alien. They always cast me as a mafia. I don't know why, but
I can cast you as a mafia, but I would also cast you as maybe like a mafiosa alien.
that's good.
So
Right-
write something.
Wait, Stan Zimmerman, write it. I wanted to be in Stan's Golden Girl, not Golden Girl, Silver
Oh my
Foxes.
Oh
I thought
yeah,
I'd be wonderful in Silver
you'd be
Foxes.
great in that.
Yeah, I would
Well,
be because I'm a
Derek
comedian.
is very
I'm-
prolific. He has many ideas, so we'll get him going. We'll get something going.
right.
Actually, though, you should write something about a mafioso alien or whatever, because I'm a producer and like I'll like go out and try and find funding for it.
Come on, who wouldn't fund that right now?
Yeah, that's
Who would-
right. There's a new TV show coming on called like it's on Sci-Fi called what's it called? Something alien.
I want to see.
Resident Alien or
Resident
something about the guy
Alien.
who's like a doctor. He moves into
Oh,
the town.
that
and
looks
he's a little
good.
town and it looks good though. Yes, I
Yeah,
That
love
we
it.
looks
should
really
con-
good.
We should contact their casting person and see if they could put me in. I would love to play in a space movie. I've never, and that's my whole Hollywood dream is to play in a movie about outer space. I get
You know
so
what?
jealous.
You
when I
think
see
you
these
want to
actors.
do it, but then when they've got you like in stirrups, like kind of like hanging from your feet, you're like, oh, why did I sign on for this? This sucks.
I don't think at age 80 they would do that to me.
They
You
might.
never know.
I was in a movie where a monster is supposed to attack me. I'm supposed to hit the wall, fall down, and the monster takes my leg off. And then CGI would have me with just one leg hobbling and then falling down. Well, when they found out my age, they said you can't do it because they were afraid I'd break a hip. So they made me get killed in the basement. So I never saw myself getting killed. But that's what they do. You know, when you're a certain age, you're just
I
if they don't have a stunt man, they're not using you.
So I have
No.
a question. I have a
Yeah.
question for you because
Yeah.
it seems like you're heavily ensconced in comedy. Is that like always been your favorite thing to do, or is that just what has come around, or you're just good at it and it's easy for you to get booked that way, or
You
how
know,
does comedy?
that is a great question because I think so often for actors, it just depends on the first role that you get where you kind of pop. And if it's comedy, you're in comedy. It's very hard
Okay.
but I think I like comedy. I like to laugh. So I would prefer to do that. I've done some dramas and, you know, I'm always on the set, like 6 Feet Under was really a drama. And I was literally like, it's so slow and so quiet. Like I didn't like it.
Well, that was a very, very, dealt with coffins and undertakers. It was a very, very bizarre show for the day. Now it
Yeah.
would be commonplace. Now it'd be nothing.
Yeah,
But back
now
then,
it was kind of ahead of its time, but now
it
it's
was weird.
commonplace.
It was spooky and weird. It
Mhm.
was a very black kind of, sort of a black comedy, I thought, maybe.
Yeah,
A little,
definitely
Dark comedy. Yeah.
dark comedy.
oh, you can't say black
I
anymore?
know you can say black
Oh,
comedy,
black
but they
comedy.
also call them dark comedies.
Yeah, but my day they called them black. Today you can't watch your ass. You gotta, what everything you say, they jump down your throat. So you gotta
You have to be careful.
restructure the English language.
So when you walk down the street, do you get noted? Like, do people just come up to you and say, "Are you Jan Brady?" Like a lot? Do you get that a lot?
Sure she does.
I actually do still. I kind of can't believe it. People yell Marsha, Marsha, Marsha to me, like if I'm just walking down the street in a car, like all of a sudden I'll hear it, you know? And I forget because I'm spacey and like it was a long time ago, so I forgot that I even played that part sometimes. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I was in that. And people will talk to me about the Bradys, and it's interesting. It's something that people love. So I feel blessed in that I got to do something that like it gives people
Oh, no,
joy.
Absolutely. I mean, it's,
I-
and it's so iconic.
I've been recognized a few times. Aren't you the guy on that show? I said, what show? Before you go anywhere. They say,
Well,
on
you
that
have a
talk.
very distinct, recognizable look. I would just know that you were an actor.
Yeah, but they say on that talk show, I said, can you give me the name of the talk show? I test them.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, but I don't know, but like, Jane Russell. And I say, oh, yes, that's who I am. I'm Ron Russell. Jane Russell was my friend. And the show is called The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. That's who I am.
Oh my
And I
God, I love Jane Russell. That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's,
she was my best friend.
that's so
for years.
cool.
for years.
That's
But
awesome.
that's how they know me. They know me as Jane Russell's best friend. I mean, what a tag, huh? Not me as it myself. They say, "Aren't you Jane Russell's best friend?" I say, "Well, yeah, I was."
Well, at
I'm
least
also an
you're
actor.
known. Better to be known than not
That's
known.
right.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, Jane Russell and I have the same last name, Russell, because I took her name when I was a teenager. She was way older than I. And I would escort her to premieres and openings and places. And they would say to me, "Oh, Mr. Russell, your wife, is she ready?" I'd say, "She's not my wife." "Oh, I'm sorry. Is that your mother?" I said, "Don't let her hear that. Don't let her hear you say
Oh,
that."
no.
But they always thought that Jane and I were related because we look alike. In person, we had similarities.
Ron impersonated Jane
We
Russell.
don't do that anymore. We don't
Oh, we're not
discuss
telling people that
Nah,
anymore?
we don't. That's my history. I don't go there.
Oh, well, she doesn't know. Now I already started
No,
it. Anyway, back in the
I
day.
worked in nightclubs, straight nightclubs, impersonating Jane Russell, and that's how I got to
Really?
know. Yeah, that's how I got to know Jane.
He's a
Russell.
beautiful woman.
Yeah, I look just like
Gorgeous.
her in drag. But no, we look a lot. We looked a lot in drag. We looked really alike, but in person we looked alike. And we're both Geminis with the same personality.
Oh, Gemini.
And we
My
got-
husband's a Gemini. I
So
love you
what
guys,
you
but
know what
there's
you're
two of
dealing with.
you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's
Oh,
two of you.
definitely.
Hang on, look. Can you see that? Hang on.
Wow. Gorgeous.
That's Ron. That's Ron as Jane
Beautiful.
Russell.
Jane Russell had two personalities. One was engaging and the other one was sarcastic. She was the most sarcastic person you'll ever meet, but sarcastic not in a mean way, in a way where she taught you something. Her sarcasm taught you that you were stupid. She let
I
you
love
know.
it.
Oh yeah, she was an incredible.
Yes, you would love it.
She
Yes.
was an incredible lady. You would have enjoyed her company.
Okay, so let's go.
Definitely.
Let's go movies a little bit. Okay, so
Okay.
you've already done all these like great things. If you could have been in any movie it's ever been made, like what movie would you have liked to been in? And then you've already worked with a ton of huge people, but who's a bucket list male and female actor that you would like to work with?
These are fun questions. I would say if there was a movie that I could get to do and they had a script flying around for a while, I did a read through of it. Valley of the Dolls. I want to play Nelia.
Oh, that was such I hated that movie.
I loved it.
No, two of my friends they were talking about two of my very good friends
Yeah.
at the time. I won't mention who they were, but famous actresses. And it was a lie about them. I mean, they really whoever wrote that.
I'm sure.
I loved it too.
That broad Suzanne
campy,
wrote
though.
it.
Yes, it was fun. And
Amelia
campy.
O'Hara
I
would
loved
be a
it.
great.
But it
oh my
was
God.
very
But, I mean,
it was
like,
very
create what Patty Duke did. I don't know that I would really want to try and do that. I don't know. It's just a fantasy. I don't know.
Yes, but it was damaging a lot of the people. We knew who those actresses were. They pretended had fake names. I knew who Susan Hayward was, and I knew who Judy Garland was, and I know, it was terrible. How would you like it if we did a movie about you, not saying your name, and we made you out to be a alcoholic who can't keep a husband? You
I would
say,
love
"Hey,
it. I would love it. 'Cause
No,
that's
you
really-
wouldn't. No, you would. You wouldn't want your fans to think that of you. Get out of here. You're too sweet and cute. You'd never want your fans.
We
to
actually
think,
went there.
I'm kidding.
We live in Palm Springs. We live in Palm Springs, California, and at the theater here, when we first moved here 3 years ago, they did a screening of Valley of the Dolls, and when you went in, they gave you like little packages with pills, and every time they did something, you had to throw the pills up in the air, and I mean, it was a
That's
fun,
kind
it was
of
a real
fun.
campy,
Interactive.
yeah, it was a fun campy like thing, so it was a lot of fun. So wait, so who's a male and female actor that you would think would be fun to work with?
Oh, okay. So my latest obsession, you guys, I am new to the party on this, just with the pandemic. I have binged the show Breaking Bad.
Great
Love
show.
that. Oh my God, it's such a good
Breaking
show.
Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Oh my God. And I just want to do something with Aaron Paul. I just think he's like maybe one of the best actors I've ever seen. and he's
He
so
is a
cute.
very,
So,
he is a
he's
very,
good.
very good actor. Okay, he's a good one. Okay, and give us a female. What female actor who would you like? So now you would have to probably do something dramatic with Aaron
Did
Paul.
she say Aaron Paul?
Not that Aaron Paul, a different
Oh,
one.
not the Aaron Paul I know. I mean, he was a disaster. He couldn't even sing.
Him, no. I would say for female, this is a weird one too, but I just watched The Flight Attendant with Kaylee Cuoco, and I didn't realize she was such a great actress. I always thought she was beautiful, but she's amazing. I would like to be in something where I played her older sister.
Oh
I
my
would
God,
love
that would be great. You would be good at
love
that. And so now, did you like that? Because I see that's on HBO Max, but I haven't watched it.
Loved it. You guys, it's great because it's total fantasy. It's Rosie Perez is in it, who I love.
Love her. Love her.
She's amazing in this. She gets to really shine. She's such a great actress, and you guys would love it.
Rosie is fab. I would like that. You know, we all have a little bit of who we'd like to meet in the business.
Yeah.
I would love to meet Rosie. Sit down and have
Me
a drink
too.
or lunch with her.
Me
She
too.
is absolutely captivating. When she works,
She is.
I don't see
agree.
anything but her. I don't see
agree.
anything
I would-
but her. She's wonderful. I love her.
Mhm.
Brilliant,
Mhm.
brilliant. A little Puerto Rican from New York. She did well.
And she's done
So
well.
Very well. Love her. Love
does
Rosie.
does
Perez.
does your husband, is he in entertainment also?
No, not so much. He's more into like statistics and that type of thing, numbers, and so it's good.
Oh my
Like we
gosh.
don't really have a, we don't
Is he
have
sitting
that.
next? Is he sitting next to you?
Yeah, I saw his arm in the screen before he reached in.
right
for
there.
Tell him to come sit there for 2 seconds and say
Everybody
hi.
wants.
He's the one who doesn't want screen time, but he's a Gemini.
Okay.
But everybody wants to see what he looks. They want to see what he looks like now. The public has to
No,
know.
See, I was
He's embarrassed. He
So-
doesn't
so-
want it. Yeah.
a funny
What,
thing
is-
about
is-
that.
Wait a minute. Is he ugly that he doesn't want people to see
he's
it?
very
Now he's got
handsome.
it.
Very
Well,
handsome.
now
I
he's
don't
got it.
Very handsome.
Well, now he's got it.
enough competition with the ladies. I don't want them to see how
Now
I keep
he's
him
got-
locked in the
now-
bedroom. He did it.
Now he's got to show his face to prove that what you're saying is true.
He's not
That's
going
okay,
to.
if
He's
he
very
doesn't want to
stubborn. He's very stubborn.
So here's a funny thing about that, though, is that
Yeah.
when I went to school, I almost got a degree in statistics. I was going to be a statistician because I'm really good with numbers. And so the fact that he's like, does all that, it's like our 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, thank God. Someone's got to be here, right?
Where do you guys live? Are you in California? Because I don't even know where you live.
Santa Monica.
Okay, good for you. Oh, good.
Which used to be very nice, but it's not that nice right now.
No, it's not.
That's
A
okay.
little scary.
when the world opens up again and we get to go to red carpet and stuff, because I actually support myself as a publicist and I work with a lot of celebrities, and so when we have some cool red carpets to go to, we'll invite you guys and that way we can meet you.
Of course, the after party.
And thank you guys so much. You're so adorable. It was so nice to meet you.
It is really fun.
No, but the after parties are fun. You'll love it, and you meet everybody in the biz that's working. Thank God we're all working people.
Oh,
So
I
you
thank
guys-
God every day.
You can network. You can network well.
So you guys follow Jennifer on her social media. She's at Jen Elise Cox. Watch all her movies. Go on IMDb, click her page. Her number's pretty good, but you can keep it going up there. Watch the Brady Bunch movie and a Very Brady sequel. She's got another like appointment in like 3 minutes, so she's leaving
Well, you
us.
go and do the appointment. Anyway,
Thank you guys so
for
much.
what
And
you-
people hit me up on Cameo if you want cameos from me. I'm there.
There you go. Awesome. Perfect. I love it.
Thank you for giving us your time. We appreciate it.
Love you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll
Love you guys.
see you again. Bye, girl.
Mm,
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy, New Year.
to you too, honey.
Oh my
She's
God,
so
I love it
sweet.
when she did Marsha.
I know she's so sweet.
She's really gonna like that new show, The Mayor. I think it looks like a really funny
Did
show.
Marsha really say that? Marsha.
No, Jan Brady said
I
it.
mean, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the famous line from the Brady Bunch. That's
Did
the only
she
one
really
everybody
say
knows.
it, or is it just that like Cary Grant was supposed to have said no, Betty Davis was supposed to have said pizza, 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 and Cary Grant was supposed to have said something else, which they never did.
Oh no, no, this is really done.
I
though.
knew Betty Davis, and I asked. That was one of my questions. I asked her at lunch. I said, "Did you really say pizza, pizza, pizza?" She said, "No." She said, "I said pizza once, but I never did it that way."
So no, that's really. Oh, excuse me. It really is said, Marsha.
Right.
I love it. So also, B. Claudia just joined us. Hey, B, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, B.
Dave Hughes joined us. I don't know if I said Dave Hughes earlier. Somebody else joined us too, but I forgot who it was in there. But it's all good. Everybody watched the Brady Bunch movies. I love the Brady Bunch. The TV show was like an iconic thing for me growing up.
I was too old for the Brady Bunch, but my kids loved it. I was already an old man.
It was fun
when that show came out, but my daughters loved it.
So who did you like the best on the Brady Bunch?
None of them.
None of them?
No, it wasn't my kind of show. It was too cutesy, too sweetsy.
Oh no, I like
and
that.
You know, it was so unrealistic because my kids were jumping all over, throwing peanut butter on the walls, and the Brady Bunches, they were all walking around perfect. Deirdre used to change 50 times a day. She was like 3 or 4 years old. Her dresser drawers were open. My daughter was a crazy kid. She would change one outfit, go downstairs, get naked, go up, get another outfit, and come down. You know what? She's old now. She still does the same thing. So
I loved it though. I had such a crush on Marsha Brady.
And the father had such patience. He never cursed or yelled or threw things at his kids. So it really wasn't. It really wasn't realistic. And the mother, she had patience, the patience of Job. I mean, she would say, "Now, girls, that's not real." Most mothers scream, "You friggin' kids! If you don't clean up this room, your father, when he gets home."
Actually, though, we both knew Florence Henderson separately.
Yes, I met Florence Henderson at the opening night in LA of Evita. She was sitting behind me in my seat, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and she commented about my hair. And my hair was black then. She said, "My God," she said, "from the back, you've got such a wonderful head of hair." And I just turned around and I said, "Oh, look at who you are." And then we started laughing, and we chatted for quite a while until, of course, curtain. And then on the intermission, I was with Charo and Florence, and that was some combination, you know, Charo, Chikuchi, the other one. So it was an experience. And then everybody was celebrities sitting around me. Jerry Orbach was sitting next to me.
I love Jerry Orbach.
Yeah, he was very nice. He was sweet. I forgot who was in front of me, but there was Charo, Florence, Jerry, and somebody else. Oh, to the left of me, I think it was Lauren Bacall, because I remember screaming out to her, "Lauren, hey, how are you?" And she said to me, "Oh, I see you finally got a seat." That's an old joke we had between us. So it was an exciting night full of celebrity, and I love celebrities because they work so hard to be who they are. And I'm so happy when the audiences appreciate them.
When I lived in Fort Lauderdale, I had a clothing store in the Gateway Shopping Center. And next to me was a chiropractor, and Florence Henderson dated the chiropractor for many months. And so when she wasn't shooting her her talk show and stuff, she would always be there. So she would just be there like every day, walking around the plaza. We would see her every day. She was very, very nice.
Very sweet. Very nice.
She had a white Mercedes.
Very tiny. You know, some of these people on screen look normal, and in person, they're tiny little people. Florence Henderson was short and little hands and little feet, a little tiny little woman. I don't think she was more than 5'2". I bet you she wasn't. But very pretty in person, and just that old, elegant charm of the women of the day. She wasn't coarse or crass or crude or butch or man.
They're from a different generation. That's not like
a
this generation
where women loved being feminine. Women loved being the weaker sex. Women loved being pampered. They had this way of flirting with men. Women would look at you and say something kind to make a man feel like a man. Now today, women look at their husbands and they say, "Gee, I wish you had 3 inches more," which is horrible because it's so hurtful to a man to be thought of as short-armed. But women think nothing.
Short-armed.
women think nothing of making fun of men today. It's sad how some women, not all women, put men down. Sad how men put women down. It's just sad how people put people down, period. I loved my generation of people because we were raised and taught to be charming. Always polite, always complimentary, and always reciprocating in every way we could. Somehow it changed, and today people are none of those things, and it's sad.
It's
Not all
funny.
people, some, majority. The young people today are spoiled rotten, and they expect everything for free. They don't want to go out and break their hump for it like we did. They expect to be movie
Nice.
stars. I know so many young, handsome people, like handsome men, women. They come up to me and they say, "Do you think I'll ever be famous?" And I said, "Well, you're depending on your face. Your face is good for 10 years, sister, and then you're finished. So you better have some talent." They just expect to be stars, just like everybody now that's got a talk show. Every computer crazy jerk is on there interviewing people, and they're terrible. You just don't go and become an interviewer. I'm doing this for 20 something years, and I've learned how to do it. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's okay.
I just go on.
Our
and on.
computer started an automatic clean thing, so I was trying to abort it, so I got rid of it.
No,
So
but
that
like
was good.
when you get old, you get demented, and you just keep rapping at them out and never shut up.
That's okay.
I guess because we figure we're going to be dead soon, so we better get as many words out as we can while we still can.
Goddess says there's no respect anymore.
No, respect is gone because you see what has been done to the president of the United States. I'm not in favor of him by no means. I thought it was disrespectful. I only hope these maniacs don't start to disrespect the new president and start to say dreadful things about him. I've heard already that he's had brain surgery because he had a stroke. I've heard all these horrible things they're saying about him. Biden's not even in office yet, and they're saying dreadful things about him. And the other lady, the vice president, they're calling her all kinds of hideous names. So stop this, people. If you don't like who's in office, express that, but don't be crude and say dreadful things about them and make up stories that aren't true.
Dawn says she educated a young man named Christian in the customer service department today on how to be respectful and kind.
Well, he didn't know the schmuck. Where did he come from?
I think nobody knows. Think about it. Everywhere you go, it used to be the customer's always right. Now the customer's like never right. The customer's just a piece of shit nowadays. This thing needs to go away. I don't know why this thing keeps showing up.
I shop. I avoid stores where I'm not able to get proper service because I don't remember things on, I know I'm difficult because I'll go up to a salesperson and I'll say, that thing that has 3 wheels and it hangs on the wall, and they look at me like you're nuts. And then that, of course, bicycle, the word will come to my mind. The same thing happened at Christmas time. I was looking for stuffed shells in Gelson's, and I said to the girl, "Do you have stuffed shells?" And she looked at me, she said, "What are those?" I said, "It's called pasta. It's Italian." She said, "Well, I only know Mexican food." I said to her, "Well, could you learn Italian food? There are Italians here too." And I just walked away. She was very, very not nice.
That's unfortunate, though. That's the way the younger generation
Well,
actually
obviously,
is.
she was Mexican and saying to me that Mexican food is the only food to know. I guess Italian food is not to be known. I don't know what the fuck they're
You guys, one thing, we live in Palm Springs. We don't have a good Italian restaurant. We don't have a good Chinese restaurant. There's no like.
No, we have 2 good Italian restaurants here.
We don't have a moderately priced Italian restaurant.
No, they're all high end. They're very high end, and the portions are small, but the food is decent. And I like small portions of food. I'm not a big eater, but the prices are really. I mean, who pays $28 for a pasta? Give me a break. Pasta costs 2 cents. The tomatoes 3 cents, and you're charging $28, $29, $30 for a pasta. Ugh, why? Because you gave me a tablecloth and a napkin?
You like tablecloths, though.
I do, but years ago they gave them to you. I was talking to a very dear friend of mine in New York, and she and I were reminiscing all the restaurants of New York City of years ago. And I said to her, my favorite restaurant was the Four Seasons, and also the Forum of the 12 Caesars. And we used to go to dinner there, and dinner for 2 would be about $30, $35 with a tip. And we had a 3-course meal. How come they can't do that today when they charge you $100 a person? You don't get a 3-course meal,
and you don't get a tablecloth.
You don't get a tablecloth or a cloth napkin. I'm surprised they don't give you a plastic cup to drink your wine out of. But anyway,
we were watching a movie the other night, and it was the sequel to Terms of Endearment. I forgot the name of it. Something about the star
with my buddy Shirley MacLaine.
The something star. I forgot what it was called. And so in it, she's like going to see her therapist, and he brings her a glass and a cup in a paper cup, plastic cup or something, and she's like, "You don't have a real glass," and Ron's cracking up, and I'm cracking up because that's what Ron would say, that exact same thing.
Well, because that's what I met Shirley MacLaine at her Malibu house in the colony, Malibu colony. Let me tell you, that woman is just, when she smiles, you smile. She is just one of the most intelligent, interesting, lovely actresses. Shirley MacLaine is certainly somebody I will remember forever. She's lovely.
We got a TV for Christmas, you guys, and in it comes with all this free stuff. And so it comes with this thing called, I think it's called Samsung Plus, and in it there's like hundreds of free movies that you can watch. So we've been watching old movies like that one. I think it was called the Northern Star or something. I forgot. But then what did we watch last night? Oh, last night we watched the original Jumanji, which I had never seen it. I've only seen the remakes.
I saw it in the theaters.
It was really cute. And you know, too, we live in California, and if you don't live in California, like when you go to a fast food restaurant, they don't even give you plastic straws anymore. They're paper. We don't have plastic straws here anymore. They're paper straws, which I think is ridiculous because I can't stand drinking out of a paper straw.
New York, the 21 is probably closed by now. I know a lot of multimillionaires were going to fund them because they wanted to keep 21 open. 21 was probably the last of the very chic, important places to be seen if you're in our business. The bar was wonderful. You never know who you would meet. You could be sitting at the bar, and next to you could be a Broadway producer or a very big movie producer. It's gone, or it's going. The food was excellent. The prices were, pricey, but the service, the room, and where you were was worth it because you would, lunching or dining at 21. I dined there a few times, but I lunched there quite a lot. And I met so many celebrities, so many important people, directors, set designers, musicians. It was a wonderful place to network. That's gone. Restaurants in New York that used to be fabulous were the Golden Door, which was the best Chinese restaurant on 3rd Avenue. Excellent, beautiful. When you walked in, you thought you were in China. The sets, the way they decorated the room, the service, the lighting, it was enchanting. Four Seasons was a beautiful restaurant with very nice food, excellent service. Forum of the 12 Caesars was Italian food, very good food. The one that I used to eat at a lot was for Italian food, and I forgot it. Oh my God, the name. How could I forget the name? Anyway, if it comes to me, I'll tell you, but they're gone also.
You guys, before I met Ron, because he and his two daughters, they don't eat junky food.
No.
So like Ron had eaten at Taco Bell, and he had eaten in California, what's the place we like, In-N-Out? And other than that, like he hadn't been to McDonald's or Wendy's or any of the fast food restaurants. White Castle he had been to too as a kid. But he hadn't been to any fast food restaurants except for Taco Bell was the only one he ate at. So it
wasn't even Taco Bell.
It was Taco Viva?
No, it was Jack in the Box.
Oh, Jack in the Box.
My daughters loved Jack in the Box's tacos. So as children, after we'd swim in the pool and stuff, I take them out for a treat. This is when we lived on Long Island in the summer, and we go to Jack in the Box and they'd get tacos.
I don't really like Jack in the Box. That's probably one of my least favorite places. But like I'm a fast food person. Like Ron eats good food and eats fast food and he has an upset stomach. I eat fast food and I'm fine, and I eat good food and I have an upset stomach.
People say to me, "You got such good skin. How come you're not wrinkled? You're old. How come you don't look like shit?" And I say, well, because you are what you eat. And I firmly believe that. If you eat properly and know how to balance what your stomach needs, like if I go to I'm forced into it to go to a Chipotle or one of those.
That's my favorite. Everything is Chipotle is my absolute favorite.
Well, the other
favorite.
one, the one with the burning meat. What is that one called?
Dickie's and Chipotle are my two favorite places to eat. I could eat there every night.
If by some chance I'm forced into eating that, the next day I make a pasta with pesto, basil, because basil is the best thing to clean out the rectum, the stomach, the whole digestive system. And I do that always. In the morning, it's good to have hot, either water or coffee, but you must have hot to wash out the system. There's so many tricks to keeping your body tuned. It's amazing how you know when your car needs an oil change and when your car's not running properly. You pay attention. But most people, when their bodies are sending them signals, they don't pay attention. They get sick, they get old, and they die.
When I was in school, before they had Taco Bell, they had Taco Viva. That was my favorite. And my sister worked at Arby's, so I used to eat Arby's a lot for free. And I like Arby's still. We go to Arby's once in a while. I go to Arby's once in a while. He doesn't.
The meat is processed. The meat is full of preservatives. The meat is not. I mean, come on. Anyway, I remember way back in the dark ages when I was 15 and 16, they opened a thing called Carvel ice cream. And we all went to this little cute building, and it was Carvel ice cream. And I fell in love with it. And then somebody said to me, there's a new place that we have to go to out in Merrick, Long Island. And it's got hamburgers and stuff. And I said, you mean better than White Castle? Let's face it.
I love White Castle.
Anything's better than White Castle. And we went, and it was called McDonald's. And I said, oh, gee, isn't that interesting? Look how nice. They put it in a bun. They put lettuce. What a nice place. But it's never going to make it. I should have bought stock.
Who was it again?
Me, McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's, yes.
I said it's never going to make it because people were afraid of it.
Dave Hughes says he's lazy and that he goes out to eat all the time. And then he said he eats a lot of fast food and he always has an upset stomach.
Well, then when your stomach is hurting you, get pesto, P-E-S-T-O, which is ground basil, and put it over any kind of pasta and eat it. That basil does something. The menthol or the mint in the pesto soothes the stomach. Or drink chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is also very good for your stomach.
Actually, Goddess says she loves basil and Carvel. I love Carvel.
Well, I became an addict. I mean, I remember getting the 15-cent cone. It was huge. 15-cent cone. Could you believe it? That's how it started off, 15 cents. And I would always get chocolate. I love the chocolate Carvel. 15 cents a cone. Now it's what, about $4, $5, $6, $7 or whatever. Some insane price. Anyway.
They say I seem pale today and you seem tan.
Well, I've been driving baby. You know, for the last 2 days, I've been out scouting all sorts of things that we did. You know, I picked out all the tile for our kitchen because we ripped up the wood. Now we're putting down gigantic, big, pure white porcelain tiles. And I've been running all over town, and I had the top down, and it's been beautiful here. It's been 75 and bright sunshine. So I got a little bit of a sun color.
Backpack John says he loves White Castle. That's great, sort of, as long as you're close to home when you eat it.
Well, I must say something about White Castle.
That's hilarious.
Jimmy took me to White Castle a couple of years ago. And when
That's the first time I'd ever been there.
Well, when I bit into it, I thought I was biting cardboard, the meat. Years and years ago, back in 1957, 1958, next to the club I hung out, it was a dance club called Gildays. It was on Queens Boulevard in Rego Park. No, in Rego Park, I think, Queens, New York. Next door was a Carvel. So at 3:00 in the morning, we'd leave the club and we go next door, and I would order an orange drink and 10 little tiny White Castles, 50 cents, by the way, for all of it. The meat was real meat. The quality was better, and it had a pickle in it with ketchup. Today, I don't know what the hell they're putting in there. They call it meat. I call it cardboard, processed cardboard. So it was better back then. Or maybe I was just stupid. I didn't know any better. I don't know.
I love White Castle, though. Like, I think it's awesome. I don't like the ones that you buy in the grocery store that are frozen. They're not good. But if you actually get to go to a White Castle, which I've only been to, I think twice we've been to White Castle.
Well, you know what they used to call White Castle in New York, all the kids? Gorilla farts.
Oh, because it makes you go.
No, gorilla farts, because I don't know why, but that was what it was, gorilla farts. Imagine how crazy we were. But I used to enjoy those days. You know, it would be summertime. We'd all have convertibles, and we'd go to White Castle. Then we'd go with our girlfriends down to Astoria Park, and we'd make out along the river. And it was just fun times. And then, you know, we weren't, well, a couple of the girls put out, but most of the girls didn't. And it was nice just kissing girls and wanting but not getting. It was fun. Then I woke up one day and I said, you know what? You're gay. Knock it off. You're never going to be like the other boys. So stop fooling yourself.
Goddess
you
says
know.
White Castle brings back memories. Backpack John said, and she said it's got to be real meat. And then Backpack John says, yeah, rat meat.
God forbid. No. I mean, it's so easy to eat nicely and correctly. It's so much better. The food feels good in you. You eat, you taste it better. Fast food, you know, my very good friend when I was growing up was my friend Arlene, and she started to say, do not eat sugar. Sugar is so bad for you. And when she had 2 children, her son, who's a doctor, by the way, here in California, he has never tasted sugar in his life, nor has his sister. And my friend Arlene is like 100, and she's happy and healthy. So sugar does damage, causes diabetes and a lot of different things. But I never gave sugar up because I can't. I love chocolate, and I love cake, and I love candy.
I love soda.
I don't like soda. It makes your belly big. The intestines swell up from the gas. No, it bloats you. Very bloating.
Also, we forgot to mention artist Miss Kim in the chat room. Hey ho, what's up? Happy New Year. Our chat room is going by really fast. Everybody's commenting on all the food stuff.
Well, you know, everybody has their own opinion, and the younger people today, they were raised on fast food. We were not. You know, back in my day when I was a kid, it was just after the Second World War. There was food, period. The United States had sent all of their food to the soldiers, the sailors, the Marines, everybody. So we didn't have food. We had victory gardens in the summer where we planted cucumber, squash, tomatoes, figs, all that to be able to eat more. It was a terrible time in the United States during the Second World War and 5 years after. The 1950s, it started to get good because everybody had jobs. Money was plentiful. There were 2 cars to a home. People were buying homes. You know, you could buy a beautiful Tudor house in a lovely section of Bayside for about $6,000. Now it's about 600,000 or more.
6 million. If you're in the chat room, you guys, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? Let's see what everybody likes. And we'll do a little ad too for all the stations we're on. Our next guest will be calling in about 8 minutes, I think, 8 or 9 minutes. So it should be good. But if you're in the chat room, tell us, what do you guys like? What are your favorite fast food restaurants? Mine is Chipotle and Dickey's. I could eat them like every day. I could eat one for lunch and one for dinner, and I'd be happy for the rest of my life.
Mine is Carvel.
His is Carvel, which is dessert. Yeah, but what about for a meal? So you don't like any? He doesn't like any fast food restaurants.
None of them. They're disgusting. The potatoes, disgusting food.
If I had to pick the next one, I would probably go McDonald's. I used to love Kenny Rogers.
The worst one.
I used to like Kenny Rogers Roasters, but like In-N-Out. In-N-Out's good, yeah.
That would probably, if I was starving to death and somebody said you must eat fast food or die, I would eat In-N-Out.
Yeah, I like In-N-Out. Don likes Taco Bell. Teresa Saban says White Castle. I love White Castle. I wish we had that here. My favorite one that we don't have here anywhere near us is Long John Silver's. When I lived in Florida, I used to eat at Long John Silver's all the time. And that was probably my favorite because Chipotle wasn't even around yet.
If you know all the poisons that are in your body right now, the toxins from eating all that, it's not the food that's bad. It's what they put into the food. Don't forget, they manufacture it in the factory. Then they ship it to all these various places to be sold. So they have to have tons of preservative in it. They freeze it. And when they freeze it, they fast freeze it. In the fast freezing, the meat turns, it changes. The quality of the meat is not what it was when the animal was killed. So it becomes some kind of frozen crap. Now they defrost it in a microwave, which is putting more junk into it from the microwave. By the time you get it, you're eating processed nothing with no values.
So Backpack John says White Castle. Goddess says Wendy's, but she hasn't been in one in over 20 years, but she still loves it. And Teresa Saban says Wendy's also, but she doesn't really go to them either. And B. Claudia says we don't have these stores besides the Bygones.
Lucky.
And Dawn had a fabulous salad from Wendy's last night. And Angela Joseph says she sticks to Red Lobster and the boys love Wendy's.
Well, I know a lot of people like Burger Queen.
I like Burger King's chicken sandwich.
Didn't get it right. Burger Queen. That's what the gay people
I like the chicken
Burger
sandwich.
King. They call it Burger Queen.
B. Claudia likes the Big Mac. That's McDonald's. Dave Hughes says Dixie's in the UK. We don't know what that one is because we don't have
When
that one.
when my daughter Leslie was 16, I took her to Europe. We went to Italy. We ate beautifully in Italy. Okay, now we go to France, and my daughter is not eating anymore. The food is delicious in France, but she spotted on the Champs-Elysees a McDonald's. Well, she drove me crazy to go there for McDonald's. She was dying for McDonald's. And it was so clever to see it in French, and I was just enjoyed all of the whole idea of McDonald's in Paris.
Oh, they also like Kentucky Fried Chicken, Subway. Don says Subway.
That's super poisonous.
And
because that oil that they fry everything in could be 100 years old. Oil changes; it becomes toxic after it's boiled to a certain point for a certain length of time. It becomes black.
Goddess says, I love Bonefish. I think that's Bonefish Grill she's talking about, but that's not really fast food. I think that's an actual that's an expensive restaurant.
I don't know anything about Bonefish.
I used to eat there when I was in Florida. They have that in Florida. And then B says now they have Five Guys in Germany. That's Five Guys is great. It's really good. They also like Kentucky Fried Chicken. So Ron always gets sick if he eats a Kentucky Fried Chicken, so we don't go there.
No, my stomach just doesn't like it. It just is so weird.
Ron can't really eat any of those things, but...
Well, you know why? I came from a house where my grandmother cooked. My mother worked. My father worked. My grandmother was 100,000. My grandmother was 4 years old when Lincoln was shot. Okay? She had my mother at 40 years old. My mother was born in 1910. So when I was a little boy, I was raised in a house where my father would throw a can right through the window. If you ever found a can of anything in the cupboard, no way. My grandmother would go to the chicken market, pick out the chicken, they'd kill it, she'd come home, clean it, we'd eat it. She went to the vegetable man, she went to everybody. It was all fresh food. Italians only ate fresh food, and they ate seasonal, which is very good. Was that microbiotic? You eat seasonal. Whatever was blooming, you ate, because that's what nature made. So I was raised eating very healthy food, and my grandmother was an excellent cook. I mean, she made her pastas by hand. She never bought Ronzoni in a box. You're kidding? My father would throw it at her. So that's how I ate.
Like, no, my family was exactly the opposite. My mom bought canned everything.
No, most of the time, listen, I came from an Italian Jewish neighborhood, and the Jews even, they made, all their stuff by hand. I mean, there's schmaltz, that's chicken fat. They used to make that themselves. They ate very well. Back in those days, Jewish people cooked.
Goddess says she loves pasta. Ron could eat pasta like 3 times a day.
I love pasta. I mean, I'm not a meat eater because meat's not very good for you, especially red meat. Pork I don't eat because I like pigs, but occasionally it falls into my cooking.
I remember when we went to one of our first red carpets when we moved here, and we were after we parked, we were walking to the theater, and this guy had this like baby pig that was his pet, and Ron was playing with the pet, and he was like, "That's it. I'm not ever eating pork again."
The pig was such an adorable little cute
It was just
thing.
like Astro. It was like little like Astro.
It looked like Porky Pig. Oh, I thought, and I said to the guy, "Isn't it sad that people eat this animal?" And he said, "Absolutely."
Yeah, so we don't eat a lot of pork.
No, it's not good for you anyway. You're better off with vegetables, beans, and things like that. The body likes it better.
Chicken Parmesan is my favorite. I could eat chicken Parmesan like every day too. Like I love chicken Parmesan.
I do also, but you have to be careful. Eat. I mean, I hate to preach anybody. Eat what the fuck you want.
Do you know what Tramezzini is?
Who?
Tramezzini. Tramezzini.
Never heard of it. Tramezzini.
She said it's super Italian. Tramezzino.
Tiramisu?
No, Tramezzino. Tramezzino.
Tramezzini?
Tramezzino.
No, Tramezzini?
I don't know what that
Never heard of it. That must be some novelty.
Tramezzini Pomodoro con rucola.
Pomodoro is tomato, and what's the rest?
Con rucola.
The hell of it. They're trying to say cagnocola is.
I don't know. That's what B likes. That's in her Italian foods.
I think it's all wrong.
So hold on, we got to do a quick commercial because we're going to have a guest coming on. So you guys, we want to thank everybody for tuning in every week. You can listen to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell live from 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific time, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time on W4CY Radio, our home station. We're also on K4 HD Radio in LA, Jackalope Radio in St. Louis. We're on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audio Boom, Podomatic, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker, Apple TV, Podbean, Spotify, and Pandora. There's a bunch more, but those are the ones everybody knows. And on TV, you can see us on Comcast, Roku, Vimeo, and Jimmy Star's World Television. And that's jimmystarsworld.com.
Also, in the new year, we're looking for sponsors. So if anybody out there has a product that they want 4.5 million people to know about, contact Jimmy Star. Talk to him about what you want us to promote for you. If I agree and Jimmy agree that your product is worth selling to our viewers, we will do a commercial. But if in any way you suggest something that we do not like or feel is harmful to our public, we will never, ever push your product.
But most products fit.
Right. Just don't,
But not energy drinks that are bad for the system.
Well, Jimmy almost went nuts with me because he had a sponsor years ago. It was a pill you took, not a pill. What was it? Some kind of shit you took, and you got energy. Dynapep, and you got energy in a second. Well, I said to him, Jimmy, did you ever take it? He said, no, I don't take drugs or pills. I said, well, I'm going to take one and see what it's like. I was out of my mind. My heart was beating 1,000 miles an hour. I was shaking. I said, this is poison. You can't sell this to your public. So I went on this show, and Jimmy never knew it. And I said, Dynapep stinks. Don't take it. It's poisonous. It'll kill you.
And they went out of business.
They thought I was joking when I said that. I said, I'm not kidding.
It went out of business.
Yeah. I said, I took one and it should be outlawed. Well, they went out of business. That's the power of the media. You can make them or break them. So if you have a product that you think you could sell through us, we'd be more than happy to promote it for you.
Here, it's some kind of sandwich, Tramezzini.
That must be something in German because I've never heard. This is a
no, because Dave knew what it was. He wrote it's a sandwich.
It's not an Italian thing. Trust me. This is a panetta. A panetta inside of it could have spinach.
Oh, here, Angela Joseph wrote it's an Italian sandwich. Summer is synonymous with fresh and quick recipes to be prepared on the fly and taken to the beach. The sea tramezzini with tuna, tomatoes, and rocket.
Well, it's something I've never eaten. It must be something new because it certainly is not in my grandmother's cooking. and it's a panetta.
That's funny. All right, you guys. So we're going to bring, I see Stan Zimmerman has joined us in our chat room. So we're going to bring Stan Zimmerman on. Rebel, whenever you're ready to rock and roll, let's roll him in here. Hey.
Roll him in.
Yeah, how you doing?
People are going to get the wrong idea. Roll him in. I don't know. or the right idea. Ron, you be quiet. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, listen to him. All right, we can hear him, so let's do an introduction. Introduction.
You're really doing well.
I'm having a hard time.
Roll him in an introduction.
It's our first show back. I'm having a hard time. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented superstar Stan Zimmerman. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, and I have my.
Oh.
I can't make it. What is that? What is it?
It's Marsha Brady. It's Sure Jan. It's Marsha Brady from the movie.
Thanks, Sure Brand. I love it.
Before we go there, I want our viewers to know that you are one of my special people. You know that. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass or being a phony for any reason. But you
wish you would. Yes.
No, you are a very talented man. And a very sweet man and a very gentle, kind man. What the fuck are you doing in our business?
I'm in the wrong town.
You're in the wrong business, baby. But anyway, Stan Zimmerman is a sweetie. So
I miss you both. And I follow you, obviously. So I feel a little bit like it. But every meal I see, well, I could be sitting at that table. I sat at the table.
Yes, and you have sat at the table, so it works.
Yeah, in your backyard, I haven't seen since you've done that beautiful remodel. So I'm desperate for one day to leave this house and actually go somewhere like Palm Springs and visit you all. And
well,
yes,
you're always welcome. There's no question about that. As soon as we're out of the woods, if ever, we're going to have a big cocktail party, and you're invited. We're inviting all of our friends in the business, so we'll have a good time. You know, we're bullshitting each other how great we are.
I needed you to do us a favor too and say hi to B. Claudia in Germany, because she's like, oh my gosh, it's Stan Zimmerman, because she's seen you on
B. Claudia, hi. I've met some great people through you. You introduced me to the wonderful Judith Chapman, who was gracious enough to be in one of the first online readings I did of my play Meet and Greet that we did for Coachella Valley Rep back. I don't know when it was.
At the beginning of the pandemic.
Judith,
when I thought at the time, I said, I'm just going to get Zoom for 2 months. And then, no, you need to like just, you know.
Have it forever. And you know what?
Yes.
It's not going away. Even when the things go back to normal, I think that this is still going to be a part of our lives.
What's amazing about it is that
Zoom.
I've been able.
What Zoom?
Zoom is what he uses to talk to people all around. He did a reading, you know, with Judith and everybody. They do it on Zoom.
Oh, that was
I teach on Zoom, and then I got talked into starting a sitcom pilot writing class, and I started with 1. I'm up to 6 now, and I keep the size at like 8 people, so they get to feel what it's like to have like a writer's room. So everyone reads everyone's material. We start with pitching, then we do outlining, and then we do act 1 of a pilot script. And now I have students from all over the United States and Australia. So what's been really cool is that we've still been able to find ways to be creative during COVID. And some people have had these sitcom ideas for over 15 years, and they've been able to work on it over the past year. And 7 of them finished an entire script just last week. So I feel very proud and excited about that we've been able to.
My mother used to say, my mother would say, where there's a will, there's a way. And you guys certainly did it. You know, I want you to be in the movie we're going to shoot when we get funded called The Gift. I wrote it. And
what's my part?
Your part is, I believe your name is Jerry, and you're the salesman. You're a Jewish guy who's a salesman that goes into the houses of everybody. Remember, we call him Jerry the Jew. He used to come. he used to come around and sell you rugs. He'd sell you curtains, and you paid him off $1 a week. Well, that's who you play in the movie. Lainey Kazan, God me, I love her so much, but I mean, the grief I'm going to have, I should only know from. But I love Lainey, and I'm willing to take whatever insanities we get together, because Lainey is playing the lead. She's a Jewish woman who's a bookie.
I did a talk show with.
Wait, hang on. I'm an Italian mafia who's married to her, and the story unfolds. You will love it. Go.
Is it contemporary or is it period?
1945.
Love it. Great. So I got to cut my hair a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
So wait, what were you about to say? You did and he cut you off.
I was a co-host with Alexander Rodriguez, who has a podcast called On the Rocks, and she was the guest. And it was right when the another sequel came out for My Big Fat Greek Wedding, the latest one, and she was so wonderful. And you know, I really wanted to ask her questions that most people don't ask. You know, like because when you think of like someone that's had that much success, like was there ever a time when you questioned yourself, when you almost gave up? And she was like, no one ever asked me things like that. You know, you always think of people's successes, but all of us have had if you've had a career in show business, you know, it's
up and down. Yes, we know.
Well, Lainey would never give up. Lainey, I know her 30, 40 years already. Lainey would never give up. When Lainey was young, she was magnificently gorgeous. A Playboy bunny with big bazooms, real ones. I mean, she was a sexy lady. And when she sang, the audience shut up. Nobody spoke. She was still has a wonderful voice. Lainey is one of my most favorite people in the world, but she's a little difficult at times, I must say. You know, she forgets that she has to be on your show, or she doesn't return your phone call if you've called her 30 times. But that's Lainey. Lainey's always been that way. And I love and adore her.
Directing this movie.
What?
We don't have a director yet.
I do have a director. I was asking Marcel to do it, Marcel Waltz. I am so in favor of Marcel's style of directing. Marcel makes the character become the
His
character.
name is Marcel Waltz.
Marcel Waltz makes the character become the character. Most directors make the character become the director's thought. But Marcel doesn't do that. Marcel's from Germany, obviously has an accent, so he's not going to make Leni Kazan play a German. I mean, because she's Jewish, that wouldn't work so good. And it's and the Nazis are involved in this plot, so But anyway,
it's a comedy.
It's a black comedy. Marcel will direct everyone to be the character, not his view of the character. He did that with Blind. I don't like horror movies. I'm in them all the time and they stink. But I mean, they're fun for kids. They love it. But for me, it's not quality stuff what I do. I mean, I do stupid shit. But Blind, Marcel directed Sarah French. She did a brilliant performance in it because I know Sarah well. And Marcel's directing for stuff I've seen is really excellent. He's an excellent director.
He's one of your best indie directors.
Even his German films that he did in Germany. See, that's what it is. He's European. He's German, and the Europeans have a different idea of what film should be. And he's got
where are we filming this?
When we get the moolah.
No, he said where.
Well, where are we filming it? We're filming it here. We have to get we're going to build a set because most of it takes place in the kitchen in east side of New York, 1945. So we have to build a kitchen set, and the rest of it is location. Okay. And probably the location will be either New York or LA. It depends on money. The budget we want, we could do anything. But if we have if they give me like $15.99, to do the film, then we have to do it. We have to do it in my house with no salary.
In your backyard, yes.
No lighting. We'll do it on a cell phone, and it'll look like the rest of the shit that's out there.
No, it's going to be nice. It's going to be good.
No, it's going to be a high budget, couple of $1 million film.
Not high budget, but a couple $1 million.
That's high budget for me where I come from. I mean, most movies I'm in are 15,000, 20,000, shot in 2 hours.
I want to talk to him because he's got his Marcia shirt on, and we just had on.
Oh, we have a lot of time for
Jennifer. We just had Jennifer Elise Cox on. So.
And how was she?
She was fabulous.
Funny. Nice.
And she did the Marcia thing. She told us that she worked for your uncle in his. I thought it was Baskin Robbins. She said Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's, yeah, it's Ben and Jerry's. Sorry, yes.
And she said you're fabulous and you're super nice. And Ron said he wants to play an alien, and he always plays a mobster. So she said that we should have Stan write something that Ron could be like an alien mobster.
Alien. I mean, I don't know.
But how weird that she worked for my uncle. And then she ends up on the movie. I didn't know her. And somehow we got to talking about that. I'm like, wait, my uncle owned, I think it was on 3rd Avenue in Gramercy Park. And I mean, the minute, so we were rewriting the script as they were casting the Brady Bunch movie. So the director, Betty Thomas from Hill Street Blues, you might remember her. She would come in and she said, you have to look at this tape of this girl for Jan. And we're like, oh my God, she's brilliant. And then we saw Christine Taylor for Marcia, and then Gary Cole. She said, just shut your eyes and listen to Gary Cole. And it was literally Robert Reed's voice. I mean, he had it down to a T. So when we especially saw Jennifer and, Christina play Marcia, they were such comic gold that we kept saying, we got to write more for them and build up more of their rivalry, the sibling rivalry, because they were so funny together. And just the way that Jennifer did that, the Jan hair bobbing back.
Yeah. Right.
And she still looks like she's could be Jan Brady.
I mean, she looks about 18.
Well, we have been out. We want to pitch like a streaming show called The Brady Ladies. Use the exact actresses. They're still stuck in the 70s, but it's today, and they move into West Hollywood. And, one is divorced, one is widowed, and of course, Jan never got married because nobody ever wanted her. So, and have a deal with West Hollywood today, 2021, and the world, as crazy as it is, and see the Brady still deal with it.
Stanola, tell me about my favorite thing that you
Wait,
do.
wait. Go back. Wait. Don't skip. So I have a question about
Well,
it. So,
yeah.
so the Marsha line, is that from the TV show or did that come about
Yeah.
from the movie?
No, that was the TV show. But then when we did a play on that for the sequel, the Very Brady sequel. It was my idea to cast RuPaul as the guidance counselor in the original Brady Bunch movie. So then when we went to do the sequel and it was taking place during the summer, everyone said, well, if school's out, how are you going to get RuPaul in it? I said, give me a minute. We're going to figure a way to get RuPaul in this movie. So that we have a big scene at the pool. And so I thought, well, what if she runs into her guidance counselor at the pool? So that's how we got RuPaul back in. And then RuPaul has 3 daughters. And she looks over and she goes, Moesha, Moesha, Moesha. And it's 3 black girls that look like Brady girls. She had 3 daughters. So that was our joke on that. So
That is hilarious.
really, those movies were such a sweet spot as far as having a job, because it was like, I love pop culture. I grew up, kind of like you guys, obsessed with, for me, it was TV. I mean, I memorized the TV guide. I loved everything. I would love variety shows. I love television, the comedies. So to have a job like this, where you have to make fun of all of that, it was so great. I obviously watched the show as a kid. I thought it was funny as a kid. In rewatching them all, they're not that funny. They're sweet and they're kind of corny.
Right.
They're not when you think of like Golden Girls, which is
No, nothing will ever be.
Yes, nothing
will ever be the Golden Girls. Nothing.
Well, those were hard. Those were hard jokes that I never thought I could write. And when we got on Golden Girls, I was like, I don't know how to write a joke, and we really had to learn on the job. Brady Bunch.
Golden Girls was so way ahead of its time. Brady Bunch was okay, but it was so sweet and sour. You could vomit from it. It was too sweet. For me, anyway.
That's why we got to make fun of it.
But even the original film, it was unrealistic. The mother and the father were perfect. The kids were wonderful. I mean, being a parent raising 2 kids singularly, I looked at it and I said, "Yeah, right. That's bullshit." You got to throw your shoe at a kid once in a while and yell, "You little friggin' brat!" Stop doing that. But they didn't do that. Let's go where I want to go. Is my favorite project of yours, as you know, is Silver Foxes.
Yeah,
I love the concept. I wish that you could bring it to light, because it's going to have so many subject matters that that we can bring to the public in a fun way.
So now you have to tell people what Silver Foxes is.
Wait.
Yeah. So the latest with it is we're doing 2 tracks. One, we are still pitching it as a TV show, and there's one company that seems kind of interested. Knock on wood. We'll see what happens. But we also, because I think you know me by now, I don't give up. If somebody says no, I figure another way. So my writing partner, Jim Berg, and I turned it into a play. And my good friend, Michael Urie from Ugly Betty, directed a reading of it. And he was the one that suggested, make it a 1-set play. Make their Palm Springs house the set, like a character in the play. So we turned it into, a 4-5 character 1-set show. Because that's something, as you know, you've been to my plays, I can put up a play. I could come to it in Palm Springs.
Listen. It's not about the visual. It's going to be about what you hear, because I know the kind of stuff that you write. Nobody looks at the Golden Girls at the furniture, because the furniture was awful. But I mean, we listened to the girls. We wanted to hear the subject matter, the sarcasm, the humor, the fun. I'm going to ask you one thing, and I've never asked anyone this in my life.
I want to say, that I know you, Lucille Ball. So I also remember nobody wanted to make I Love Lucy. They didn't think America could handle, a Cuban husband. So what she did, she turned it into a little play and took it around the United States. And it became so popular that the network had to say, well, I guess there's something there. So I kind of took that as a model. Why not do our play around, get it known, and then it could be a TV show.
Well, don't forget, Lucille Ball, before I Love Lucy, was my favorite wife on radio. And she portrayed the same screwy character she portrayed in her I Love Lucy. So when she brought it to TV, she insisted that Desi be in it. Otherwise, there was no way to do it. And TV felt that she was important enough because of her radio show, so they allowed her to do it. I met Lucy, and she was quite a dame.
Yeah.
I met her. Yeah, she played backgammon at Pips, a club that I belonged to in Beverly Hills years ago. And she would be in the back room with her backgammon game. She was always playing cards. Oh, with the cigarette smoke. There'd be clouds of smoke, and there'd be Lucy with her. Oh, boo! Yeah, she could booze it. She was a boozer. No, she liked her drink, but she was just like I liked her. You know why? She was like me. She would tell you, shut the fuck up. I mean, she was one tough hombre. She didn't like bullshit. You couldn't go over and say, oh, I love you. She'd say, yeah, relax. Watch the movie. Go do something. She was not one of these egomaniacs. Like, she was a professional actor and a worker. She was a producer. She was that more than she was, I'm a star. None of that shit.
And a real trailblazer when you think of what she did. Starting a TV company at that time for a woman and using her power and popularity to also help other people. When you think of
everybody,
the mother-in-law, Steve Arden and Kay Ballard, that was Desilu Productions. So she was very supportive of other actors and getting theirs. But to have a production company and make other TV shows was not really a thing for an actor.
Kay Ballard was one of my very best friends because Kay lived not too far from us here. And Kay and I would have dinner parties together. She always made lasagna. And I would talk to her about the mother-in-laws. And Kay said, out of my whole career, she said, the mother-in-laws was it for me. She just loved working with Eve, and she loved the show, and she loved the writing, and she loved the way they made her funny and giggle. And she just loved everything about it. Lots of actors I know, out of their entire career, they only have one special thing they love the most. Now, question to you, out of your career, what is the thing what's your baby?
The Jimmy Star.
Go fuck yourself. You're so full of crap. Stan, you're so full of crap. You're so full of crap. But you know
I
what?
knew I could bring it out.
Wait a minute. You're a schnorrer. You know what schnorrer means in Yiddish?
Snoozer.
Okay. You're a schnorrer. You know how to snore.
Yes, there you go.
A schnorrer is an ass kisser, but you know how to snore.
Something with the shusha or
right.
I think different jobs. I think writing.
Schnorrer is the word.
Writing wise, I think it's the Brady Bunch movies because it expanded my mind. We could be outside the box, like casting RuPaul. We could appeal to kids. It hit many things I'd like to do, but also be really funny, but smart funny. Right. Obviously, the opportunity I had with Golden Girls was huge. And a lot of this I'm actually going to get into. I signed a book deal with Indigo River.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I should be writing that now, but I'm talking to you two schmucks. See, that's another.
Here's what you got to do.
Yes.
Otherwise, you get bad. You get the evil eye. You get the Kinahara. You got to do that.
So the book is called "The Girls from Golden to Gilmore," and it's stories about all the wonderful women I've worked with and Roseanne.
He wrote Roseanne.
I know.
Actually, in the chat room, they wanted to know about that.
Yeah, listen, send me an autographed copy and come on and push it.
I'll be pushing it.
I want to read that. I want to read.
So things like that I was able to write, like the lesbian kiss episode of Roseanne. Obviously, as a gay man and pushing television to have that on TV was a big deal. Being on staff and all that. Chazarai. Why you make me talk Yiddish suddenly? I know.
Because you know what? It's so New York. And
I know 5 Yiddish words, and I've used them all up now. I've got to go. Goodbye.
No, it's so New York, and I'm so homesick.
So I haven't really had that experience of loving the writing and then loving the backstage, combining the two. I've loved the writing staff, but then the show had problems. So there's always, a give and take. So I guess I still want to have that full great TV experience, But
what I want to reiterate is Why do I love Silver Foxes so much? Why? Because Silver Foxes is going to bring to the world, not just this country, but when it goes in reruns all over the world, Stan Zimmerman and writers' idea of what gay people are, what prejudice is, what homophobia is, what illness is, what old age is. You're going to bring all of the wonderful things that we as humans live and suffer from. And it's time that we do it through humor. Golden Girls did it for straight people, and you, my darling, who I love, you're going to do it for the gay world. That's why I will push that fucking thing like nobody's ever pushed. I will shout it from the rooftops, from the Empire State Building. I will shout, Silver Foxes is the answer. There's no better way than to connect with the world than through humor.
Your humor. And I see that in, your posts, and you talk about being older and your body and what you want to do or not do and build and not build, but you do it with humor and not taking yourself too seriously. And I think
I did stand-up for 46 years in straight clubs, in drag.
I wish I would. In drag?
How do you think I learned how to connect with 4.5 million people that watch us now? Because if I didn't have that theater, that nightclub experience, I might have 350 diners at the music club, the Musicana Supper Club in Florida. 350 straight people come in to see this Jane Russell thing, whatever it's going to be. And they're going to judge it. Does he have an Adam's apple? Can you see his beard? Does he show his dick in his gowns? You know what I mean? People do all that crap when you come. And I went out perfect.
Were you considered a female impersonator before drag was drag? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what
female. They call them female illusionists.
Yeah, I was a female impersonator before Mary, Mother of God.
So I really have to talk to you because actually before this, I'm working with my writing partner Jim Burke on an idea period piece, but about female impersonators back in the day. Like, what was that like?
I knew the very best. The top of the line they were older than I. I was about 19 when I started doing drag. I looked 12, and I did look like Jane Russell. If you see my pictures, that's why my name is Russell. I took it from Jane because I loved her since I saw her with Marilyn in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes when I was 14 years old. My friend Miss Tommy, she would do Marilyn, and I would do Jane, and that's how this whole little thing started. Tommy Lee is he's very famous drag queen. Tommy Lee did Marilyn Monroe. In fact,
Tommy James.
No, that's a different one. No. Oh. Tommy Lee was before Jimmy James. Yeah, Tommy Lee was back in the way back. I remember when Marilyn died in 1962. We were at Reese Park Beach in New York, the gay beach, and he ran into the water screaming he's going to commit suicide because Marilyn died. Drama queen. And when he came out, the black rinse in his hair was all over his face.
Anyway. Did you know Kenny Kerr?
He's not real good with names. No.
Kenny Kerr, he did Boylesque in Las Vegas. It was kind of like
that came way after me. I go all the way back to my dear friend who's dead, who was Charles Pierce. Charlie was probably the most fabulous Betty Davis there ever was. Charles Pierce was a genius. He did Katharine Hepburn better than anybody. Charlie Pierce at the drag balls always had the most elaborate gowns, magnificent wigs. He was not an attractive woman nor a man, but whatever he did, he was just wonderful.
He was 19, Stan. We weren't even born yet.
Yeah, Daisy D did Gloria Swanson. And Daisy.
Did you know Craig Russell at all?
Oh, absolutely. I knew Craig Russell. Craig was the first. Yes, outrageous. Craig was the first one to die from it was AIDS, whatever. But yeah, AIDS. And Craig Russell she was a demented freak. I mean, I loved her. She was way out. We were walking down 3rd Avenue. We were passing a vegetable stand. And as she's talking to me and I'm talking, I'm unbothered. She's collecting all the stuff she's stealing. And as we're walking, she's got a celery stick, a banana. I mean, every fucking thing in her hand. And I looked at her. I said, You just stole all of that. She said, well, what are you going to do? Report me? I said, no. She said, let's go eat it. I said, get out of here. Anyway, Craig Russell was outrageous. So when he made the movie Outrageous, he was outrageous. Daisy D, as I said, Gloria Swanson was breathtaking. And of course, Miss Tish. Tish was a fabulous drag queen. And also Gypsy. I know Gypsy for 100 years. When I met Gypsy back in 1963, she had on a wig with a French twist. And I'd never seen a wig with a French twist. And there she was from behind. And I walked over, I tapped her on the shoulder. I said, Mary, I love your wig. It's fabulous. You got a French twist? She said, yeah, it's a French seam. You glue it on the nape and you don't. So that's how I met Gypsy. I was 19. Gypsy was whatever. You know who Gypsy is.
Back then, was it separated and you had like a day persona and then the night you were female impersonators? Was it kind of like two different worlds?
A lot of people lived in drag. I used my own hair.
During the day they lived in drag as well?
Some did. I can't think of one that did. She did. She had a ponytail. It was her own hair, and she wore it in a ponytail, slick back. Salome. Her name was, I forgot. She did Salome, the Dance of the Seven Veils, and she was phenomenal. Everybody in my day sang in their own voice. They all danced because they were trained dancers. They wore magnificent costumes. They didn't wear fishnets with rips. They weren't these weird drag queens of today that make fun of women with their outrageousness, their stupidity. I think they're all ugly, stupid jerks without talent, and they try to become something to entertain. People go and make fun of them. Nobody made fun of us. No one.
But what were you? How did you survive by day? Did you have like a day job?
Yeah, I worked in Sutton Place as a hairstylist, hairdresser.
And did other people like work in banks or Macy's and things like that?
Listen, you got $50 a night
money
working in drag. If the mafia that owned the club paid you. Okay. Right. I was lucky because I knew names. So if I worked, I'd say to them, listen, Joe, before I go on tonight, give me my $50. What do you mean, wise guy? I said, wise guy, nothing. If you don't give me my $50, I'm going to call my friend. And I gave a name. Well, I got my $50. And you had to do that because a lot of times the owners of all these supper clubs were gangland, mafia. And they wouldn't pay you. They were mean. But a lot of them, you had to go in the back room with them and service them, which is something I never did. These are straight guys with wives and 10 kids. But suddenly the drag queen is so gorgeous because the drag queens in my day were sexy and beautiful. They were beautiful women.
You couldn't tell they were men.
No, you couldn't tell.
Was the audience mostly straight couples, or were they a mixture of straight couples and also gay guys? And
everything. But the gay guys didn't act gay because they get beat up. So the gay guys sat there like men. Everybody acted straight. No, this is back in 1959, 60, 61, and 62. Gay was very, very hidden. You had to go to the Village. You had to go to all supper clubs. I worked at New Jersey, the Cherry something, whatever. And I had to have escorts when I left to take me to my car, because they were afraid that I would be beaten up. And people would come in and see me. They loved my work because I sang, I did jokes. But when I left the club, there were crazies that would beat you up. So I always had security take me out. One time, a guy grabbed me by.
Were you ever arrested?
Was I ever arrested? No. I had to go down to the police station and get what was called a cabaret card. In those days, you had to have a card to perform in drag. The card said that I was a male impersonating a female, and the card had a photograph of me as a male. All I had to do was present that, and I was okay, as long as I was performing. But if I went in drag to a cocktail party and they raided the place, I would be arrested. Now, I was arrested once. Green's Dance Studio in Brooklyn was a friend of mine. By day, it was a dance studio. By night, he made it a drag club or a gay bar. And he said, would you come in drag and do Jane Russell? So I said, yeah. I had just gotten a brand new costume that was so skin tight I could barely walk in it. And it had a slit. Now, I went there ready to go on and to perform, and the police raided the joint. Well, you had to see this. This was a movie stand you would have peed yourself from. The queens jumped out of the window, swinging from the fire escapes, jumping down into the garbage pails in high heels to get away from the cops. I was like screaming hysterically funny. I couldn't wait. Anyway, I showed my cabaret card and they said, well, are you performing here? I said, well, this is not a nightclub and this is not where you perform. You're arrested. So I said, fuck you. I had my own hair at the time, which I wore longer, so it was the thing. And we had to go before the judge the next morning. Well, when I started going before the judge in drag, full-faced as Jane Russell, the judge was smiling. And he said to me, young man, take that wig off. And I did Jane. I said, but Your Honor, it's not a wig. It's my own hair. And I did Marilyn, and the judge just didn't know what to say. So then I turned around, and as I walked back to my bench, I did a boom, boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom. A strippy, sexy walk. And then I turned around my head to the judge and I said, thank you so ever so, Your Honor. And I sat down. Well, the room went crazy, starting to laugh.
Why are you not writing this as a movie?
What?
Why are you not writing this
like that as a movie?
Oh, why? Because people won't believe this shit. Everybody
That's why
wants.
you gotta do it. That would be.
No. Everybody wants me to write a book. I said, if I wrote a book about all the celebrities I've known, been friends with, the shit that I did, they'd say, this guy's full of crap. He's a liar. None of this happened. Because my life has been a roller coaster of insanity. I am not afraid of anyone or any place. I go everywhere. You know that. And I hang out with all kinds of people, black, white,
I
green,
have another question about that card. So when you went downtown to get the card, you had to go and say, I dress as a woman to perform,
no,
right?
it was a cabaret card.
Right.
You had to go as a male. And
but you went down to City Hall or something like that?
No. I forgot. I don't even remember where I went. Maybe the police station. I don't really remember. This is going back, when I was 19.
I know, but that took a lot of guts to walk in there and say, I entertain as.
No, everybody that worked in the clubs had a cabaret card. The clubs wouldn't hire you if you didn't have a cabaret card. Because if you didn't, a cabaret card, I think everybody got, even piano players. I think back then everybody
you weren't scared to go into a police station and say that you did that at that time?
No. Why would I be afraid? This is what I did. I was afraid of my father.
There must have been other entertainers that weren't as out or as had moxie like you do.
No, not true. Not true. Because back then we were not faggots or queers or fudge packers. We were entertainers. We were professional people who impersonated movie stars. We didn't go and drag just to be a pretty girl and act stupid. We studied our craft. I learned how to be Jane Russell, to walk like her, speak like her, have her mannerisms be as tough as she was, as sarcastic. And Miss Monroe, Marilyn, he could do Marilyn's mouth better than Marilyn when he would quiver. I mean, he was fabulous. When you went to see a drag show back then, you were fascinated because the girls were 82 Club, some of the most beautiful boys, 5'2", thin boys, gorgeous looking, looked like women. Men were getting hard-ons. I mean, they thought these women are stunning because they had little G-strings and pasties. And then this is what I didn't like. 80 Club did this, 82 Club. At the end of a performance, all the showgirls had to take their bras off to show they were men. They didn't have chests. And I thought that was nauseating, looking to see a woman. She looked like a mastectomy, and I didn't think that was very pretty. They could have done it in a different way.
A big aha moment, and people would go, they were shocked. That's why they did.
When I did, I was the first drag queen to work the Copacabana in New York, to have a drag show at the Copa. And I insisted that my glasses be oversized, the furniture around me be big, the sets to be big to make me look smaller because I'm 6 foot. In drag, I'm 6'2" or 3. And backstage, when people did come back to say whatever they said, can we see, because I wasn't in drag anymore. They said, can we see Ron Russell? I said, I'm Ron Russell. And they'd say, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. Well, she's short and she has boobs. I have mechanisms that push up my pecs to look like real knockers. We didn't have bags and water bags in those days. So they tap my chest. They say, but you don't have breasts. I said, well, neither does she. That's me. And then they finally get it after a while. And then I knew I was good. I was good at what I did, because if they didn't know that this big guy, tough, could turn into that beautiful woman, I'm doing well. And every time I was interviewed, I was on page 6. What is it, 7?
Page 6.
Page 6 in New York. And they wrote about Ron Russell is a man of mans and a woman of woman. So drag back then was fat. If you want to meet for dinner, we'll meet. We'll tell you everything. If you're going to write a book about it. Then there was also my dearest.
You have
friend,
like 2 minutes.
My dearest friend in the world. She was a lesbian drag, but she was so beautiful. She looked like Lena Horne. What was her name? Oh God, she stressed me. Anyway, she was wonderful. I worked with the very best.
I
Who?
did.
You did. You're always doing that, aren't you, Jimmy?
Yes, always. So you guys listen up. First of all, Stan has done all kinds of cool things, you guys. He's had TV series, Sex and Exec, Skirt Chasers. He's produced movies. He wrote on Gilmore Girls, all kinds of stuff, Golden Girls. He's a fucking superstar. So you guys got to follow him. His social media is at Zimmerman Stan, ZIMMERMAN Stan. As more comes on with Silver Foxes, we'll let you guys know. Everybody in the chat room loves this conversation because it's stuff that Ron hasn't really talked about in a long time.
But my very dear friend Thomas Churchill, saw pictures of me in drag recently, and he said to me, Ron, I have got to write something about you being a detective going undercover in drag.
Could be fun.
I said, you know what? Never happened, because if you put me in street clothes, I look like a man in street clothes, women in street clothes. You got to put me in a gown with a push-up and, hairdo and all that. It's not going to work.
So, Stan, when you have something that you're ready to promote, too, let me know, because everybody in the chat room is like, you got to bring him back. You got to bring him back. So we will definitely bring you back. We love you. We think you're great.
And I'd love to come back. I got a lot of cool stuff happening, and I adore you too. And anybody in the chat room, if anything else, just track me down. I'm very approachable. Don't take that the wrong way, Ron. I know you're going to say something.
Well, let me say something to you. Paid to advertise.
Stan, thank you so much. Chat room, thank you so much. We'll see you guys
love
soon.
you,
Happy
Stan.
New Year, everybody.
And happy Hanukkah, my darling. Happy Hanukkah.
Bye, everybody. You guys, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Rebel,
him.
thank you. Stan Zimmerman was great. Thanks to Jennifer Elise Cox. We had a great show, you guys. Chat room, thank you. Rebel, thank you. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.